right, good morning to you. I am Robert Lee with MacNSeitz 15U Black. We are bringing you the MacNSeitz 15U YouTube channel. Coming to you live today from Creekside out in Parkville, Missouri, playing once again in the Super 15. So we've got 67 teams at large in the field, and most of the games have been put in, at least 3, and we are playing our 4th and final pool game. So the top seeds will go into bracket play, and then there will be consolation play after, depending on that seeding. Today we are facing the Colorado Prosepcts. Looks like a good team. Had a nice conversation with a couple of the parents and looks like staff members here just before the game. We've got the lineup, and we are all set and ready to go. The umpire meeting has already transpired out there in front of us, so the umpires have set the ground rules, and we're just about to have play come underway. I did not see the coin flip, so I do not know if we lost the coin flip once again, and so the trend continues. We will not have that advantage, and good for the Colorado Prosepcts to travel all the way from Colorado out here to the Kansas City Metro and then get that home billing. But I will quickly go over our starting lineup, folks, and we'll go from there. Hey, Kevin, we got just a little bit of net here in that center. Yep. I don't know if we can get that kind of adjusted. Sorry about that, folks. Just a short little pause as we get one of these cameras kind of readjusted. So going over the MacNSeitz starting lineup today, leading off for MacNSeitz today is going to be number 27, Tucker Lee, followed by number 1, Cooper Harvath. Batting in the 3-hole is going to be Boston Townsend, and number 13, Ryder Votaw, hitting cleanup. Followed by Votaw is number 10, Sebastian Wingrove, number 21, Reed Satterwhite, number 35, Zane Valdez, and number 15, Miles Vaughn. Number 18, Parker Simons. And rounding out today's lineup is number 31, Anthony Sutcliffe. Looks like we are going to have Alex Killman starting out there on the bump for us today. I think it is notable that we should talk about the injuries that the team has sustained, kind of coming in off of the high school season and then some of it here early in this summer season. We've got a number of arm injuries and back injury, all kinds of different things. And I think that has, stymied some of the play and maybe some of our offensive output. But yesterday, playing against the Missouri Bulls, now ranked the number 1 team out of the 67. They've gone 3-0 and have only allowed 1 run. And MacNSeitz was able to put up that 1 run. A tight matchup yesterday. There were a couple of missed opportunities and runners that we left stranded. That matchup going down 3-1. So we'll see what we can get going here against the Colorado Prosepcts today. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption there, folks. We got some personnel from the ballpark telling us we can't tie up our canopy to some of their equipment here on the facility. So we're making those adjustments. A couple little camera adjustments as well. And as you can see on your screen there, the Colorado Prosepcts have taken the field. And let's go ahead and quickly review that lineup that I had for them. Now, there were subject to a couple of changes here, but number 37, Wesley James, was going to be leading off for the Prosepcts, followed by number 27, Brady Houston, number 20, Caden Van Dam, number 8, Matthew Schimberg, number 17, Chase Weber, number 10, Hayden Silva, and number 9, Jack Longmire, number 21, Jackson Trail, number 40, Ryan Jenkins, and number 7, Cody Contreras. So they do have at least one in the substitute, which is Tyson Browker. So MacNSeitz out there in the dugout, out there in front of the dugout, rather, I should say, getting some swings in, trying to look at their timing. And interesting that I was talking with number 27, Tucker Lee, just yesterday, and he was telling me he doesn't like to look at the timing because he feels like that it can sometimes be a little deceptive. And so now leading off. Ball missing in. And Lee being patient, looking relaxed in the box. Had a nice first inning hit yesterday. Now up in the count 2-0. Cooper Harvoth waiting on deck. And that ball coming up and in. Glances off the glove for a catch. Starting out there on the bump for the Colorado Prospects is Tyson Browker. I do apologize if I'm getting that name, Ryan. Squares away to bunt, pulls that back, and that'll be ball number 4. So a leadoff walk has MacNSeitz with his first base runner of the day as Cooper Harvoth takes the signal from Coach Sawyer. So really curious to see how MacNSeitz will handle this. First pitch strike right there. Harvoth on the take. The runner does not go. A good lead out there, but nothing outlandish. Lee with pretty good speed. Obviously looking. He goes. Pitch is up and out, and the throw is off the mark. Lee will make his way over to third on an errant throw. And so some good base running, and MacNSeitz, the benefactor of a poor throw. Harvoth just nearly missing that one. And that one missing outside. Little pop-up. This one just over the short. And that left fielder is able to pull it in. Too shallow for a tag. So Harvoth not doing bad, putting the ball in play, getting that bat on the ball. That'll bring up number 36, Calder Boston Townsend, as he shimmies into the box. That one catching the outside corner. And Townsend starting out 0-1. RBI opportunity right here. And that one popping out of play right side. Tell you what, it's been a warm haul here for us playing in the Super 15. Looking like today is going to be very similar. Obviously, we had the one day where we had 2 games back to back, and rain delays consistent throughout the day. Don't think we'll see that here. And some heads-up base running, a drop third strike, and that results in Lee being able to make his way home on the throw down to first. So MacNSeitz up here on the board early, 1-0. That brings up number 13, Ryder Votaw. And that's exciting to see MacNSeitz finally getting a run across the board right here in the first inning. You got to imagine as the prospects are looking at the rest of their weekend, and of course I think right now a top 10 seed, so they're certainly going to be moving on into bracket play and probably just looking at our general overall record. Maybe not pitching their strongest arm, and that's not a hit against Brocker by any means, but obviously a ton of strategy when you're trying to select which arms you're going to throw and how long are you going to throw them. And a hard hit ball. This one's going to be a gapper. That is right center. And Votah in for a double. How about that? So Ryder with plus speed. I think he was even there for a moment as he was approaching second, was considering third, but a good throw in by the Prosepcts. They made their way to the ball quickly and got it in back into the infield. That's going to bring up number 10, Sebastian Wingrove. Wild pitch. Votah will make his way over to third. So MacNSeitz typically kind of aggressive early in the count. And everybody's showing just a little bit of patience. That one missing outside. And Wingrove improves to 2-0. Good lead over there at third, obviously in foul territory. 3 pitches, 3 balls, and got to imagine Wingrove's going to be really patient right here. Satterwhite waiting on deck. And a wild pitch right there. Votah does not go. But Wingrove with the walk, and that'll put runners on the corners. Satterwhite getting the legs off of his catcher gear as he's approaching the box. Colorado Prosepcts catcher stepping across the plate, communicating with his infield on how they want to handle the runners. So a fair amount of wind today. Nothing super strong, but pretty consistent. And another wild pitch right there. Wingrove will make his way over to second, and Votah holds. And it's kind of notable. I mean, typically when you're seeing pass balls, they will oftentimes result in runs, but the backstop here is fairly shallow on field number 4 out here at Creekside. That one hitting Satterwhite. Does it textbook style, shoulder in, takes that one in the back, and he'll have a trophy regardless of how we play today. Colorado Prosepcts coach wanting to talk with pitch. Takes a little mound visit, and he does call for a pitcher. But wait, he comes out of the dugout, then turns around, stops, and he is making that exit. So a short day for Brocker here in the first inning. Still only 1-0. And so I say that with a question mark on the end, but I got Josh Carr over here helping keep me straight. Confirms that. And so now MacNSeitz in a good position to maybe kind of open things up. Still 2 down. So if we're going to have something here, it's going to have to be a base hit or a walk. So it looks like this is going to be number 87, and I don't have this young man's name. Pixler. And so this is Pixler up there warming up on the bump. Joining us right now is Kevin Townsend.
Hey, everybody. Hey, thanks, Robert, for having me back.
Absolutely. Kevin's over there taking some video as we've had kind of a productive first inning so far.
Yeah, I intended to only get a couple of batters in the hot sun over there, but it ended up we kept rolling, so I kept the camera rolling. It's cooking out there, though. The camera can only be out there in that heat for so long before it gets angry at me, especially the LCD screen does not have an older camera, and it's built like a tank, so it's lasting a long time, but it does not like the heat.
Well, and you add a little humidity into that factor, and for some reason that just kind of plays havoc on a lot of electronics.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like our velocity's not picking. Oh, there it is. Just a little delay there. So last warm-up pitch coming in, 65 miles an hour. So not a big velocity guy. I think I'm good right now, thank you. And so Ketch goes up to visit the pitcher, talking about their signs and maybe how they want to handle Valdez.
So I like the patience I've been seeing from the guys, not expanding their zone, not swinging at stuff that's outside of their preferred pitch path.
Absolutely, and that's kind of been one of our Achilles' heels is not necessarily swinging out and stuff, but going after things so early in the count and maybe not getting that best pitch to hit. But right now, bases loaded, and Valdez working on a 1-0 count. Well hit ball. This is left side. Looks like the left fielder is calling for it, and he collects that. So MacNSeitz will leave 3 stranded, but they do put 1 on the board and go up early here in the contest. Doggone, a missed opportunity right there. And, we saw a couple of those just yesterday in such a well-played game against that Missouri Bulls team. So 3-1 ended up in that contest. But, we ended up, I think, stranding. I'd have to go back in and take a quick look at what the overall amount of runners that we left on base. But it was quite a few.
Yeah, I didn't look at the stats, but I think Boston on the ride home was saying that he thought it was 6 or 7 guys left at different points. And so he felt pretty good about the way they played overall, and I think you and I both saw that too. We saw a high level of play, and he's like, hey, man, if we can clean up a couple of our strikeouts on pitches that are not that particular player's pitch kind of a thing, and stop leaving guys on base, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Absolutely, and sometimes it's just getting that contact, right? And that was, I think, the notable thing. So we had some strikeouts, and as long as the guys are out there swinging, nobody gets too upset. But, man, in some of those situations, if we could just get a little bit of contact, put it in play, and maybe we can get 1 or more 2 of those runs across the plate.
Yeah, and I would even argue that most of the strikeouts, the strikeout pitch was not. The at bat was lost earlier on in the at bat, right? By not fouling off something else or not getting in that mentality, or just. So I think a lot of the guys were actively swinging on the last pitch, and they're putting a hack on it. So they were not watching it, not much yesterday anyway.
Well, as you can see on your screen there, we've got number 4, Alex Kilman, starting on the bump. And then working behind the dish is number 21, Reed Satterwhite. Defensively, we've got Parker Simon starting over there at third, Ryder Vota at short. Looks like Sebastian Wingrove at second and Miles Vaughn on first. Then it looks like from there my eyesight is failing me. Oh, and a hit by pitch. So one pitch. I don't know. He kind of turned into it a little bit, but I think he just actually missed that pitch.
I think it looks like Coop's over in right field. I cannot see who's in center. It looks like Tuck is in left.
Yeah, so I think that's Valdez over there in center. Tucker Lee in left, and then that's a righty out there in right. So that might be Anthony Sutcliffe.
There you go. And the runner doesn't go. Ball gets leaked away from Reed there, and runner doesn't go. So.
Yeah, just a slight glance off the glove there, and I think the runner was kind of trying to determine how far away that ball was going to get from him. Elected not to go, and
we know this backstop plays real quick, so if it's thrown hard enough to get there, there's not much time to do anything. You really need something to fumble around at your feet with in order for it to be a good chance to take that jump or to get pretty far up the line.
Tucker.
all right.
Runner at first takes a pretty good lead out there. Nothing too crazy, but maybe a step more than we'd like.
Ooh.
That was a fantastic throw. Nailed him.
And a pickoff for Kilman over to Vaughn, and they get him.
Way to get that glove down. Miles got that glove down, forced that guy to slide into the glove for that tag. That was exceptional.
Just a fantastic spot and location, as this one is a hard hit ball, but well left and foul.
It's rare when you get to sort of anticipate a play happening. I just was talking about the little bit bigger lead that guy had at first.
Oh, and a near miss right there. That'll make it a 2-2 count.
Yep, the zone's three-dimensional, I think, is an important thing to remember. It's a cube.
This ball fouled out of play, and so far a quality AB. That is number 27, Brady Houston, up there for the Prosepcts. And missing inside on that one.
It loads up the count, right? I think so.
Yep, and that'll be a full count.
Oh, the scoreboard is working and accurate. Look at that.
Yep, one of the
There we go.
swing and a miss. And Kilman with his first strikeout on the day. You can see the wind playing a little bit of havoc. A beautiful facility out here at Creekside, but all netting all around. And so we'll have to make an adjustment on our backstop camera. But we do enjoy a couple other views here to keep bringing you the game. But, yeah, one of the little brothers for our MacNSeitz athletes out here helping us out running the scoreboard today.
Swing and a miss. Strike one there.
Tell you what, Kilman having one of the lower ERAs on the pitching staff for MacNSeitz. And just a ton of control. He really tends to pick his spots, and if he's on, he can really hit them kind of repeatedly over and over again.
Yeah, he's very good location-wise and able to move that ball around. That was another one of those that tunneled real nice there. It looked like it was coming out of the same arm slot, hit a different part of the plate. Again.
Oh, this one glancing just off the end of the bat, and that's going to be good for out number 3.
Yeah, plenty of time to make that play.
Yeah, Kilman coming off the front of that mound handled that ball pretty easily, and he made his way over there to first for out number 3.
Let's see, what can I do about that?
Yeah, let's see if we can't. We're going to go on a short audio break here, folks. It looks like I'm missing one of my cables. But we'll go on a short audio break here, and we'll fix these channels, and we'll be right back with you.
It looks like the organist missed their cue to play in that last break, so I'm going to have to go have a word with them in between the next half inning and make sure that they understand they're supposed to fill those little silent moments there for us.
Yeah, we're going to have to let them know that the game started at 10.
Yeah. It's hard. The organist booth is way on the other side of the park, so it's hard to get messages back and forth to them. Miles takes for the first pitch, a ball.
So that is Miles Vaughn up there, big lefty, giving a different look, and it looks like a little chopper right over to first, and he collects that for out number 1. I was going to say just before the contact there that it looked like the Colorado Prosepcts did stick with.
Yeah, number 87 is still on the bump. I can't remember his name now. Something like a Pixel.
Yes.
Pixler. There it is.
Yeah, there you go. Better memory than me.
That pitch fooled him, put a good swing on it, but it came across for a strike. A little cross up there. You could see the catch setting up on the outside part of the plate, but the ball came across on the inside, so they missed that call. That was a close one. A little low.
So this is Parker Simons at the plate. As that ball comes down in the turf, now 2-1 count.
The pitcher's delivery, I'm not sure if it's a mound problem or it almost feels like he's falling away to the first base side on his delivery. And I don't know if he just rolled his ankle on his landing that time, but...
Well hit ball right side. This is going to get down for extra bases, folks. Parker Simons rounds first. He's taking a big round and slides into second for a double.
That's it. And you see that gesture, if I don't know what camera view you had on there, but on second base you see that hand waving behind the head. That means the ball got over you. That's the signal to the outfield that the ball's going over their head.
Little Bayou, right? Well, that's going to bring up number 31, Anthony Sutcliffe. And so just one down, a runner in scoring position. We'll see what MacNSeitz can do with it here. And missing just outside. Oh, looks like they called that a balk. I missed the balk call.
Yeah. And saw the runner jog into third, but did not hear the call. That's the one thing with the headphones. You don't always hear the audible balk calls. Ooh. Defensive swing up there at the top of the zone.
Yeah, you know, we've got the audio up and pointed towards the field of play, but we do miss those umpire calls from time to time.
Ball outside, well into the lefty batter's box that time around.
That definitely would have been a tough one for Simons to make his way home, and that's, you know, something we were talking about earlier, that this is a tough spot for runners on third trying to get home on a pass ball because the backstop is fairly shallow to home plate.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. We do practice on these fields a lot as a MacNSeitz team, so we have some familiarity with them, but the fields are another player in the game here. They all have their unique personalities in the way that the field plays. Some of the turf is raised in the batter's box, which causes different kinds of jumps. And this turf plays pretty quick. Also up at these complexes. So for catchers in particular, it can be hard to have enough time to get your chest out over the ball to be able to do an effective job of blocking. So it's a pretty fast-paced game out at the Creekside Complex. All right, I'm going to hop out and catch some video again here. I'll be back again in a little bit.
You bet. And so Sutcliffe takes that last one for ball 4. That'll put runners on the corners. And now MacNSeitz back up to the top of the order. You know, and as Kevin was pointing out here just a moment ago, the differences in some of these fields, but here out at Creekside, what we have are turf infields and grass outfields. And so it's kind of an interesting play. I think when you get some of those big hits to the outfield, when it slams down on an all-turf field, you'll see those balls bounce up over the players at times. So both Colorado Prosepcts pitchers maybe just struggling with a little bit of location here early. Obviously, we saw Brocker go out in the first inning. Little off speed right there. That'll even up the count now, 1-1. So Simons over on first. Sutcliffe over there on... Simons over on third. Sutcliffe on first. And another swing and a miss right there will make it a 1-2 count. So back-to-back change-ups. I apologize. Those were not change-ups. Those were sliders. Oh, and right down the pipe. Lee goes down looking. So not something that we're really accustomed to seeing with Lee. Typically, if he's going to go down on a strikeout, it's swinging. But that one would have been hard to pass up, right down the pipe. But that's going to bring up number 1, Cooper Harvoth, and MacNSeitz with 2 outs. So some good patience continuing at the plate. Pop up. This one looks like the shortstop is going to handle it. And that'll be out number 3. So MacNSeitz leaves 2 more stranded, and the Prospects avoid any further damage. Now 1-0 game, and we'll do a short audio break. Folks, we do appreciate you guys joining us here online. If you are watching, please drop a like on the video and drop a comment maybe for your favorite player. We'll be right back when the action goes live. Well, that brings us to bottom of the second.
Nice.
Gilman starting with a little off speed for strike one, and my goodness, look at this beast up here at the plate. That is number 8, Matthew Schemberg. All of about 6'3" and 220. I don't know. That's a big boy right there.
Yeah.
Well hit ball. That one's going to go over to left field and for a single.
Gives them their first runner in the first at bat. So we got a runner on first, no outs.
That will be number 17, Chase Weber at the plate. Prospects not exactly the benefactor of a well-timed pickoff play by Kilman in the first.
It is keeping that runner about a half step closer to first than the last one, so that's one of the benefits there. He's a big guy, so he's only a step and a half for his strides off the bag at the moment. Really easy to dive back for him.
That one tailing inside for ball 2. Well, we talk about it pretty often. I'm sure that heat beginning to kind of set in and really rise off of that turf as that little chipper goes foul on the right side.
Yeah, and we get a preview of where he's looking to do. You can see the body and everything, bat path, looking to go oppo there, right down the first base line with that pitch, trying to move his runner over. You know, this is baseball strategy, situational hitting.
And I will say, oftentimes with off speed, it's a little bit easier to go oppo, right? You let that ball travel just a little bit further across that plate, and then you get that bat coming across. So that can work to their advantage in this situation. But he pulls it right over to third.
Makes the play at second. We get the first half of that double play, but unable to complete it. So 1 out, 1 runner on.
Definitely, Simons fielded that one well, and throw coming in just a bit high on second. But I doubt even if that was right on that they would have had a good play out of it.
It was a high hopper, so he had to wait for it to come back down to him. So that creates a little time. Another big boy stepping into the box here.
And another good-looking pickoff play attempt over there at first. This will be number 10, Hayden Silva, for the Prospects. So a little bit bigger lead over there at first. Kilman, of course, working from the stretch.
Runner takes a big secondary, but thinks better of it, comes back. Reed does a good job keeping that ball right in front of him there, not letting it dribble away.
And this one hits Silva, so he'll earn a free base, and that'll put 2 on at second and first.
So apparently the altitude in Colorado definitely is helping these boys achieve maximum growth. We've got height in abundance across the lineup here.
No doubt. It'd be interesting to talk with them and understand how they feel about this humidity, because that is something that Colorado definitely lacks.
Yeah. Beautiful pitch on the inside part of the plate. Had a little buckle there in the knees of number 9.
That is Jack Longmire for the Prosepcts.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Big, beautiful pitch. I think he was reading fastball. That was coming in and definitely an off-speed. And now Satterwhite wanting to just get on the same page.
Yeah, there's runner on second base. This is first time we're in a situation here where there's likely to be a hit and run on or something, and they got their signs right. They don't want the second baseman picking up the pitch call ahead of time and giving anybody a chance to hijack or sort of ambush that pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him chasing. Beautiful sequence there.
So second strikeout for the day for Kilman. And that'll bring up number 21, Jackson Trail.
Changes the situation quite a bit. 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. So now we got a very different situation here. We got outs in a couple of different places. Got a couple different ways to get out of this inning now.
And that would be the runner on second base would be the tying run.
Hitting the gap. Field it.
Votah is able to handle. Oh, he keeps it in the infield. The ball does get away from the glove just a bit, and that will load the bases for the Prosepcts.
So outs everywhere for maybe the biggest of the big boys that are coming in here right now with number 40. Looks like last name Jenkins, maybe.
Yep, that is Ryan Jenkins for the Prosepcts. I apologize. I'm over here bogarting the the lineup, so you can't see it.
Swing and a miss. Attacking right in the heart of the plate there.
Oh, and another hit by pitch.
That'll tie the ball game.
So a tough one for Kilman there. He's characteristically had such great control, and you know what? Every day is a new day, and you're not going to have perfect control on every single day. Just trying to find that way to win. And he's had 3 hit by pitches today.
Also lets you know his approach. He's feeling good about the inside part of the plate right now, right? He's trying to work that inside slice, and he just is missing a little tiny bit. You can see that pitch right there. Buckled the hitter, had him turning in, expecting he's going to get hit, and it's breaking in and catching the zone. And that's the pitch AK is trying to pound in right now.
Well, and I'm here for it, right?
Miss.
Anytime you've got a pitcher that's going in and trying to command that inner half of the plate, I think it's such a huge mistake for youth pitchers that, you know, they try to go middle, or maybe outer half quite a bit, and they feel like if they can miss. This ball's put into play. Votah over to first.
Opts to make the long throw to first rather than the short toss to second, but the out is collected regardless.
And so out number 3, that'll do it for us in the second. Takes us to top of 3, and we'll be back with you guys here in just a moment. Well, the Prosepcts finishing their warm-ups here. That'll take us to the top of the third. Leading off this inning is going to be Boston Townsend, followed by number 13, Ryder Votaw. So MacNSeitz able to get runners on in each of the first 2 innings, leaving a couple stranded. Actually, the boat was loaded, and we didn't get anybody home on that particular one, and then we left 2 in this last inning. So we'll see if MacNSeitz can maybe add a little bit to the board. First pitch, pop up, or foul back, my apologies. That fouls back, out of play. That one down in the turf. Catch does a great job right off the chest plate, keeping that ball in front of him. So obviously with nobody on, not as big of a deal, but fundamentally, if you can do those fundamentals right every time, that'll benefit you in the long run. So Townsend patient on the pitch count. Now 2-1 count. See the Prospect coaches sitting on the buckets in the dugout, watching. Townsend with a little chopper, but that one left and out in foul territory. So that'll even up our count now, 2-2. Coach Sawyer looking on, and this is something that Townsend you'll see do pretty frequently, trying to disrupt the rhythm of the pitcher. And so he calls time, steps out of the box, and gets an extra swing in. That one missing outside, now full count. So you can hear the fan base for the Prosepcts, hey, saying that's a good miss, and I don't disagree. Try to get him chasing out there, get something off the end of the bat. But Townsend patient. Protecting the plate there. That one gets by the pitcher. It's going to be close. And second base comes up with a nice play for out number 1. So good AB by Townsend. Getting deeper into the count, trying to find that. Had to protect the plate with 2 strikes on, and so he does swing but puts the ball in play. And that's something that we could use in so many different situations, especially when you got runners on and less than 1 out, or less than 2 outs rather. Catch working hard there behind the plate, a lot of off speed. Moving laterally and keeping that ball in front of him. So Votaw up there being patient at the plate. So just from a velocity spectrum, you can see that both of the pitchers, now for the Prosepcts and for MacNSeitz, kind of similar in fashion, right? A lot of off speed, not big velocity guys. Votaw pops this one up. Looks like shortstop is calling for it. Now second baseman. That'll be good for out number 2. That was number 27, Brady Houston for the Prosepcts, collecting that one. Now Sebastian Wingrove at the plate. Teammates and friends often referring to him as Seabass, amongst other things, I'm sure. And he takes that one well inside. Well, MacNSeitz showing some good discipline at the plate. Wingrove being patient. Came up with a big hit for us here a couple of games back. Puts this one in play right over to third. He bobbles it just slightly, but picks it up and makes a nice throw for out number 3. So that'll do it for us in top of the third. Once again, folks, thanks for watching. Drop a like if you can, or maybe a comment for your favorite athlete. And we'll be right back with you once play resumes. So a quick half inning right there, and MacNSeitz set to continue to try to hold the Prosepcts. Our score now 1-1. I apologize. I had the scoring overlay wrong there for just a moment, and of course we certainly did see right there on screen the Prosepcts bringing one home. That was on a hit by pitch. That was it a hit by pitch or was it a walk?
No, it hit by pitch to walk in the run.
Yeah, to walk in the run. And nice glove by Satterwhite right there.
Yeah, AK in a hole, though. I think that's the second ball of the at-bat.
Well, this is the top of the order for the Prosepcts. This is number 37, Wesley James.
Understandable what's going on here. He's trying to work, nibble the edges here, right? And he doesn't want to feed the top of the order or anything in the heart of the plate.
Well, down now 3-0 and looking for a strike right here. And just misses. So James will make his way on 4 pitches, 4 balls. And that'll bring up number 27, Brady Houston. A little more life out of the Prospect dugout. I'm hearing a little bit more, enthusiasm and cheering on their batters.
Yeah, it's I think starting to see this is a couple of times now they've had their leadoff man on and have not been able to capitalize on it under their own steam, and I think they're seeing this chance of, getting their guy in.
Well, and not a better position to really be in. You get your leadoff guy on base, and then now you have a variety of different ways to kind of get him around. Stolen bases, bunts, and, of course, hits or just contact in the field.
Yeah, and the time between when we made that pickoff play and right now is a little bit distant, so you might see a little bit, oh, yeah, he committed, he's going. Good throw by Satterwhite, but the second baseman, Sebastian's coming across there to take that play rather than letting the shortstop handle that. So with that momentum, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, and you can see a little look between short and second about how that ball was handled. I think Wingrove thinking maybe there really wasn't a play on the ball, and so electing to go ahead and take the easier catch as he was kind of coming across. But I think Votaw really wanted to put that tag on.
Yeah, I agree. He saw that opportunity. I think there was again, headphones on. I couldn't hear the guys shouting runner, so I know it happened.
So ball in play. Oh, no. The throw from third pulls Miles Vaughn off the base, and the runner will reach on air. So it looked like Simons handled the ball pretty easily and made an easy throw over, but it tailed on him just a bit, and Vaughn had to come off the bag to make sure that the ball didn't get away from him.
Infield conference here. Kudos to Miles, though, for getting off the bag and getting that ball rather than letting it get into the outfield. That saved the run. First base, we talked about it the other day, is not an easy position to play, right? You got to be able to read the bounce, read where it's going, and you got to know when to come off the bag and when to hold that bag and really lunge for the ball. He made the right choice, getting up, getting off the bag, stopping that run from leaking in, because that ball gets by him and we got a runner scoring position and another run in potentially.
Yeah, I saw Simons kind of say a little something to Vaughn. I don't think Vaughn appreciated it as much, and but what I do like is that Kilman called the infield in. So the pitcher called the infield in. So he oftentimes plays infield and called everybody in, got them on the same page, and let's see what MacNSeitz can do here. Little pop-up, left side is going to be in the infield, and Parker Simons handles that for out number 1.
Ended up catching that ball in fair territory just in front of the bag at third.
Yeah, runner standing right on the bag, of course, able to hold his own position, and I thought there was going to be a little bit of trouble with it, but Simons coming up with that one, no problem, and now we got the biggest 15-year-old I've ever seen in my life, number 20.
No, can't be, because that guy was playing catcher yesterday for the Bulls.
Yeah. A couple of pretty big guys out here in the tourney today, but that is, my apologies, that is number 8, Matthew Schimberg. Van Dam was able to get, he had that pop out.
Ball wraps around, or bat wrapped around that ball right into the opposing dugout. That was a very close ball to hitting one of the players in the dugout. That number 3 for the Prosepcts there almost took that right off his forearm. He was leaning against the rubber rail there.
I think they're all ducking behind the fence now.
Have you seen this dude? I would too.
A little chopper over to second, and a run will come across, but MacNSeitz with an out.
Little runner overrunning third base just a scotch, and Miles thought he might have a chance to catch him sleeping over there, but no luck there. So it's 2 outs for us here with a runner on third.
Well, Prosepcts go up 2-1 with that ball in play.
Comes across for a strike. First pitch strike, and AK has the benefit of working from ahead now.
So Weber now down 0-1. Runner on third, creeping down the line.
Paul misses low. 1-1.
We'll say most of the Prosepcts have looked pretty comfortable in the box.
Yeah.
Kind of relaxed coming in, and that puts you in a position to be successful when you're up at your at-bat. That one just over the head of Votah, and an RBI single.
Yeah, hard hit ball right up the middle, line drive.
I tell you what, more times than not, when we see base runners on, Kilman's able to come up with those pop-outs and those ground balls, and that was just a nice piece of hitting, good line drive above the shortstop and up the middle of the field.
It's one of the things we talk about with our hitters right now, right? Because you said pitching style is very similar, and you need to keep your bat through the ball on plays like that in order to get those line drives.
Pop up left side, and that is Lee handling it for out number 3.
Which is hard to do sometimes with an off-speed pitch. He did get exactly what you had just said there. Got us a pop out there to the left field to get out of that inning.
Well, I tell you what, it's a little uncanny that he's able to get so many of those pop outs, but that really does come down to the style and the amount of movement on the ball. And it looks like Pixler, or gosh, I cannot see that name for the life of me. But the pitcher right now for the Colorado Prosepcts, very much in that same style. And so, to your point, really having to be patient with the bat, and it's really just an exercise of timing.
Yeah.
Right? Getting through that ball and not just, on the top of the bat, on the bottom of the bat. That's why we're seeing a lot of choppers and different things like that. So, interested to see what the MacNSeitz can do here.
So you're seeing our guys compensate for that. So I won't speak for every guy. I know Boston's approach there. A lot of the time the guys will split the ball in half and when a situation like that and be aiming for the top half of that ball rather than trying to hit it middle, which does result in the ball to getting driven into the ground rather than flying out a little bit. So you're trying to compensate. Sometimes you overcompensate and end up driving it straight down into the ground instead of missing and catching middle of that ball.
Right, and such a good approach too, because a chopper or things like that can be sometimes tough to handle, and it gives yourself at least a chance to kind of run it through with a little bit of hustle. Whereas on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you pop that up, those are just almost easy outs every time.
Yeah, and I mean we're seeing here with the way Kilman's dealing and with this pitcher's dealing, different hitters are getting different sequences and different pitches to hit. So it's not a same situation, right? The guys download the intel and they come back into the batter's box, but a different posture in the box may result in a different sequence of pitches, and they got a different thing to work with. So they're trying to share that information across, but every situation is pretty unique.
So bottom half of the lineup, leading off this inning is Reed Satterwhite, and I believe this will be the second time that some of these guys have been able to see this pitcher. And oftentimes when you've been able to see somebody that's a little more crafty like this, you're a little bit wiser.
I'm not sure if it started with Zane or with Reed last time. So you're right around this time in the lineup. I want to say Reed faced the first pitcher.
Yeah, I think
first
you're right.
time through. So this is his first time seeing this guy.
He does a nice piece of hitting right there. Goes Oppo. Diving attempt out there in left field, but to no avail. And Satterwhite up with a leadoff single.
There we go. Collects a single. We'd love starting the inning with a runner on first for us there. Nice little leadoff hit for Reed.
And this is where it becomes all too important. How does MacNSeitz handle this. So Valdez now stepping into the plate, taking the sign from Coach Sawyer over there on third. Courtesy runner at first as Satterwhite's our starting catcher. That brings in Cooper McCowan, and
balk is called.
A balk is called. He did not come set.
So now we got a man in scoring position with no outs here in the fourth.
And so that is considered a dead ball, no pitch, and so that does not affect the pitch count. And Valdez trying to lay that one down. That would have been a good one because I did not feel like third base was really prepared for a bunt down that line.
I would tend to agree. You saw a lot of timing disruption in that particular at-bat. They're really trying to change the tempo here with that runner on second in this situation. Again, you're getting another long hold. Ball down, pulls back the bunt. Zane looks committed to that bunt so far. He's picking up new signs right now, so maybe something's changing. Thank you. Wind playing havoc with my ad hoc sunshade.
Oh, no. Lays that down the third base line, and he's up, an errant throw, and a run will score.
The bunt pays off there. We talked about this yesterday. The small ball in the right situations can produce pretty consistent results when executed right. In this case, we got a benefit of an error over there, a catching error on the first baseman's side.
And almost a textbook bunt, that one going down that third base line, maybe a little bit farther than he would have liked, but third baseman, I thought, did a pretty good job crashing.
Yep.
But had to throw off of one leg, and that throw kind of tailed on him, and Valdez ends up safe.
But the goal was to get that runner over to third in that situation, right? And hitting down that third baseline pulls the runner, the third base player in, makes a play at third impossible. There's nobody over there to cover in that amount of time. So that, from that point of view, executed perfectly. And like you were saying, a little deep, which means that it might be a little close and a little rush there on that throw across to first, and we were the beneficiaries that time.
You bet. And a quick mound visit by the Colorado Prosepcts coach, kind of getting into his pitcher just a bit there and letting him know, like, hey, you got to learn. When you have a balk, it's one thing, but when you've had two or three.
That's his third.
Yeah, that's his third. And he's like, listen, you need to come set. And so hopefully he's hearing that. MacNSeitz showing bunt once again. That is number 7, Harrison Perkins at the plate.
So small ball showing up once again here.
Well, and we're down now 3-2. And so it worked last time. Let's see if we can make a little bit more magic happen.
Again, no outs.
Yes,
gets the bunt down. Are they going to third? Oh, they decide to go to first after all. For a second, it looked like he was going to make that throw to third. Decided he didn't have time, went to first, so that'll go down as a sac bunt.
So nice job by Perkins putting that ball in play. I'm sure he would have liked to have been able to pull that just a little bit more to give himself such good speed out of the box. But he hustled down the line, but Prosepcts make a nice play, and that'll be out number 1. But now a runner on third base and in scoring position.
We talk about situational hitting, but situational bunting, where do you want the ball to go depends on the play at hand and the batter that's in the box, right? Like, you got that speed, you want that ball to come with you down that first baseline.
Well, this is Parker Simons at the plate right now, and he had a really good hard contact hit on the right side going oppo in his last AB, and it looks like Coach Sawyer is saying, hey, swing away.
I like that call with no outs one out in this situation. You know, we can risk it because a high fly ball, we can tag and score here, tie the game up. You got to imagine he's attacking the right side of the field here. We don't want a hard ground ball to the left side in this situation because there's a good chance that ball's coming back home. We want to go hard right, ground in the air, doesn't matter, but we want a hard hit ball on the right side right here. And
the Prosepcts with the corners in. And you got to imagine if they get a quick, hard ball, they're probably going to try to go home to save that run. And it is just a one-run game right now. So obviously we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I think we had runners on second and third, and we had just one down. And the batter was Brooks Carr, and Coach said, hey, I believe in him. Let him swing away. And so I think that's what he's done here again with Parker Simons as he takes a strike, what I felt like right down the pipe.
Yeah, definitely on the upper part of the zone, but still a strike.
Yeah, you bet. So that'll make it now a full count, and Simon's looking to win this battle.
Fouls that one away to hang in and get another pitch here. Yeah, that pitcher's delivery does really have him falling off to that first base side. That is, that's not an error. That's just his style.
Yeah. And a lot of times I was watching the plant foot, and sometimes that plant foot is a little bit crooked when you see guys doing that, but I'm seeing his plant foot, very often still straight on. So just the rotational movement of his body, kind of almost thrown across his chest at times.
Yeah. Pitcher a little frustrated there because that missed just an inch or two above where the previous strike missed. He thought he might have had it, but to me that came across a little higher on the chest than the one before it. So far, I think this ump has been pretty consistent. I'm not seeing a lot of variance in his calls. In fairness, I've been off to the right for a good chunk of our at-bats, and so I've not seen every single thing.
Well, consistency is the key, and I tell you what, we've actually seen some pretty good umpiring here in the Super 15.
Runners going to second, catcher pump fakes, and the steal will go down with defensive indifference there.
Well, Simons with some pretty good speed over there, and that ball just kind of glanced off the glove, and Ketch kind of looked to the left and right, wasn't exactly sure where it was at for just a moment, and Simons able to take advantage. And a balk right there.
That'll bring the run in for the tying run there. So he slips in his delivery, unfortunately.
So that's going back to what you were saying, and you really kind of felt like, man, he's been struggling with maybe some of that turf up there.
It is like, it's like armchair expertise, right? You see enough of the thing and you start to understand what you're looking for, but I don't want to claim any expertise beyond that.
So Simon's confused on what's going on. He thought there was being a balk being called, but it was not a balk. Anthony Sutcliffe asked for time, and the home plate umpire doing exactly what a home plate umpire should do. He raises his hands and calls time. And I think Simons took that as it was going to be another balk, but it certainly was not.
Yeah, again, I think we appreciate a good vocal ump who's taken charge of field, and I feel like this guy has got that kind of a persona out here. Yeah. And it feels good when you're in a game like that.
Well, absolutely, and we've obviously been on the other end of that when we don't have kind of that vocal control and whatnot. But he took control of that situation. It was definitely a dead ball, and timeout was awarded.
So strike called there. We're still sitting here with one out. We got a runner on third base.
So another RBI opportunity. This is number 31, Anthony Sutcliffe at the plate. Starting for us out there in right field.
Anthony taking on that pitch there. I think that counts 3-1. Yes. Thank you, Blue.
So we got a few innings pitched out of Sutcliffe here earlier this summer season, but he unfortunately has had quite a bit of shoulder pain, and so they've been trying to get him some ABs and try to keep him in there and playing. It's been good to see him out there in the field again a little bit. Don't think we're going to see him on the bump anytime soon.
Well, count is full for him here in this situation. We're seeing our base runner at third making a lot of motion, trying to be a visual distraction to that pitcher. And Sutcliffe fouls that one off to stay alive. Probably not necessary to foul that one off, but man, when you're this deep in an at-bat, you want to make sure that you're standing there when your pitch comes across the plate.
100%. Battled that one back, and he earns himself another opportunity.
Pitcher falls off the mound again on that delivery there and misses on the inside part of the plate. Let's see if I can change our luck. Films these at-bats from a slightly closer location this time around. And see.
Well, so MacNSeitz with just one down and runners on the corners. Looking like there's a lot of direction coming from the Prospect dugout. Looks like they do have somebody warming up in the bullpen. And still struggling to find that zone. Really looking like he's trying to pick the outer edges of the plate rather than coming middle. And that one coming inside. Lee with a slight shake of the head.
Yep, that's that top part of the zone. I mean, it's not the spot where Tucker wants to drive that ball from right now in his approach at this at-bat. So those are the strikes you got to take potentially to get to your pitch there. Hip triggers ready to fire on that one, but the ball's low. So 2-1 with 1 out, 2 on. That ball caught the outside edge. I think that was a little bit of a gift, but hey, if my kid's catching, I'm wanting that call, so I'm going to say all right on that one.
Well, as a batter, you got to take what is there, and now his job is to put that ball in play.
That one misses upstairs. So 2-2. Still got runners at the corners here for the MacNSeitz Black.
So conservative lead over there at first, a little bit farther down the line on third. And a foul ball right down the lane, or line, not lane. And first baseman doing a good job being right there to scoop that ball up, but does go foul just before the base.
That swing, I was trying to tell if Tuck was looking to foul that one away or if he was really meaning to drive it in that location. I was between the camera and the live view, so I'm not exactly sure on that one. Takes his walk to load the bases.
Well, that does load the bases, and that's going to be for number 1, Cooper Harvoth. And now Colorado Prospects coach out to make a pitching change. Pitcher hands coach the ball. Feeling like maybe he just didn't have the stuff today.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that our discipline has resulted in him having to throw a lot of pitches, causing a lot of potential, advantage for us. And here we are in the 4th inning, seeing their 3rd pitcher. We know tournament play is hard. To burn 3 pitchers in 4 innings is a really tough thing for any team.
No doubt about it, and I don't think they have like the biggest roster either. And so for them to get a little bit deeper into bracket play, obviously you have to win, but having enough arms to do so is so key. And this looks like it's going to be number 8, Matthew Schimberg. Going to be definitely a little bit of a different eye slot for our batters, as he is definitely a little bit bigger in stature.
At least half a foot taller than our last pitcher, so this is coming downhill quite a bit more.
Comment coming from the gallery saying he was 27 years old, but mortgage to boot, huh? Well, I tell you what, interesting, kind of sitting here watching. Looks like our pocket radar might be a bit too far away. I need to move that maybe because we're not getting the consistent velocity. It's over here on that eyelet. Yeah, just not getting that velocity in. But I kind of half expected to see a, such a big guy to see a big velocity throw.
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. That's what you would expect in this kind of a situation here. I mean, he's a big dude coming downhill with a lot of energy, a lot of mass. This is, if you've got good mechanics and a little difference in mass there, the ball's going to pick up velocity pretty naturally without having to do much much more physically. I'm going to duck these headphones off for a hot second and go fix my camera.
All right, and so Schimberg working from the stretch. Bases loaded. And a strike call. That ball coming inside. Harvoth fouls that one off the end of the bat. Now he's down in the count 1-2. So pretty conservative base running so far from MacNSeitz. Number 27 over there on first base kind of getting a little jogging start after delivery, and I saw Ketch look down. Oftentimes you'll see a guy that is confident in his throw and maybe a back pick coming. Swing and a miss, and Harvoth frustrated with the result. But a good opportunity for Boston Townsend. Deep breath, steps into the box. And now Schimberg on the rubber, ready to go. Ketch doing a good job moving laterally, keeping that ball in front of him. Don't see a lot of action over there at third at the moment. Ball in play, this one right over to third. And a nice looking backhand. And MacNSeitz, for the second time this game, will leave three stranded. But not before they're able to tie up the game, and so we now have a 3-3 score. Folks, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick little audio break here. We'll leave you with a little Van Halen. Well, obviously the Prosepcts enjoying the opportunity to have that home billing. That takes us to bottom of the fourth. So ball game all tied up right now at 3-3. And MacNSeitz continuing to stick with Kilman out there on the mound. Little squib right over to Zane Valdez on first, and that'll be out number one. So some defensive substitutions. Get some different guys, some different looks, and reps out in the field. Valdez moving over to first base. Miles Vaughn taking a seat. And now Harrison Perkins out there in center. Cooper Harvoth over in right field. And another pop-up. Back-to-back pitches. Oh, my goodness. And the circus. Oh, no. Wow, wow, wow. So a little pop-up that was seemingly going to be out number two. thought the shortstop had it. He kind of lost it in the sun, and Harrison Perkins and Wingrove not able to get there just in time. Ball falls down, and Wingrove tapping his chest like, hey, guys, that's on me. I like to see the teamwork communication there and taking ownership. I think that was going to be a tough ball when you have one guy calling for it and then losing it here kind of late.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I like when the player takes responsibility and owns that, takes the pressure off the situation a lot. Doesn't fix the problem, right? But it diffuses any of that weirdness that might happen. And if anything, our guys understand is that mistakes and errors abound on a ball field.
100%. It's part of the ball. It's part of baseball, and you know they're going to happen. You don't want them to, and so you do thousands and thousands of reps in practice, trying to prevent that thing from happening. But yet, they still come.
Yeah, there are two competitive athletes in every single at bat, and you need one of them to do something wrong in order to get something good to happen. And we're talking about tiny degrees of wrong a lot of the time.
Absolutely. Well, Kilman now working on number 40, Ryan Jenkins. Has him down in the count 0-2. And a strikeout. I think that's Kilman's third of the day.
2 outs with a runner on first.
Well, this will bring up the end of the order. That is number 7, Cody Contreras. Well hit ball over to third.
And caught.
And that one was caught right there at the shoelaces. And I think there are a lot of folks thinking that hit the ground just before, but no. Parker Simons coming up with a quick glove right there for out number 3. And so looks like that little error, MacNSeitz was able to avoid any damage.
Yeah, here we are, a tie game in the 5th inning. Again, I think low-scoring game. Very competitive back and forth. We're playing against some boys that are on average slightly bigger than us. I don't really know much about their record, but I like the style of play that we're showing here and being able to not chase errors around the field, right? Like we were talking about, errors happen, but we don't need to multiply them by trying to make something different happen. We had one moment where it looked a little bit like a Harlem Globetrotters game out there, and things kind of got back in control.
So Colorado Prospects thus far in the Super 15 are 2-1. They've only allowed 12 runs in their 3 games just before this one, but they've scored 25.
So that's good on us then for really limiting them. You're talking about an average of 8 runs a game for them then across those first 3. So
not too bad for MacNSeitz. And so with a ball game all even right now, we have an opportunity maybe to try to go up right here. Top of the 5th. And it looks like Prospects do stick with number 8, Matthew Schimberg.
Well, so far, this part of our lineup's been doing some of the heavy lifting today, putting balls in play and getting the runs across.
You bet, and I think Vota had a nice look last time, as well as Seabass, who will be waiting on deck when we begin.
The ball held just a little long that time. Yanked that one a little bit.
Well, as that ball leaves those fingertips, that's where you're going to get that ball action, and sometimes you're trying to grip that sucker as hard as you can and really snapping through. But number 13, Ryder Vota, leading off this inning. So wind kind of settling down here, but the heat rising just a bit. Right up the middle.
And through for a base hit.
So a leadoff single for Vota, and maybe an opportunity for MacNSeitz, as we had our leadoff batter get on in the last inning, and that equated to a run.
So there's an opportunity here for Sebastian to move that runner into scoring position, and we'll see what Coach Sawyer likes to be able to get a runner in scoring position here.
I think MacNSeitz has had 2 stolen bases. And we got a wild pitch right there as Vota will make his way over to second easily.
They found the way to be able to capitalize there. That ball hit the top of the cement wall that time and shot straight up along the net and gave us the chance to be able to pick up that bag there. No strategy needed on our part.
So nobody down. Wingrove at the plate, squares around to bunt. Corner's crashing in, and Schimberg steps off the rubber.
That first baseman was crashing hard. I got to imagine he's bunting down the third baseline in this situation. Sebastian not quite as fast as Harrison was in his earlier bunt attempt. Right back at the pitcher. Turn and look, no play at third, makes the out at first.
And so Sebastian doing a great job moving the runner over.
So again, you see Coach Scheuer likes the bunt in that situation. He's deploying it pretty consistently right now in this particular game, and it's been working. That's the third bunt of the game, and it's the third runner that's resulted standing on third base because of it.
Well, that brings up number 21, Reed Satterwhite. And he hits him. Right there, glances off the elbow protector, Evo Shield. Another little shout out there.
Yeah, I know Evo Shield is threatening to get more of my business, I think, because Boston's got his eye on the hand guard with all the rash of hitters getting hit in the hand in the MLB right now.
Oh my gosh, it's just completely shattering your season. You know, not to mention the metacarpals in your hand. But now Coach wanting to talk to Zane Valdez for just a moment as he walks down the third base side.
Yeah, and talk through their approach here to this at bat, right? We got one out here. And we need something to come across that plate. How it happens, we're about to see, but we know we need it.
So go-ahead run represented on third base. Just one down.
Squares around to bunt. Runners in scoring position standing up on second. The runner is now Cooper out there on second base running for Reed Satterwhite as a courtesy runner.
So some good speed on second. If we look at maybe Valdez no longer bunting, and I get the impression that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, and again, you see that swing, everything. He's trying to get ahead of that ball. He's a lefty hitter, so he's got to work a little quicker to bring that thing to the either up the middle or down or across to the right side there. We want the run in. We want the baseball as far away from home plate as we can get it. Sounds like common sense.
So ball in play.
No man's land. They opt to take the out at first, and the go-ahead run comes across with 2 outs now.
So a great job by Valdez. Puts MacNSeitz in the lead.
It's another really good team at bat, right?
And that'll be 2 down. That's number 7, Harrison Perkins at the plate. Big swing and a miss right there. But an aggressive cut. Feeling like he's seeing the ball well. That's Cooper McCowan over there working on third.
Yeah, it's 2 outs with the count even, 1-1.
Yeah, breeze just picking up just slightly.
Foul ball into the upper part of the net here on the right side.
Well, cloud cover starting to pick up just a bit. Imagine those players wouldn't hate it if that sun slipped behind those clouds. Ball in play. This one's going to be a stretch for second baseman, and he's not able to come up with it.
It's one of those tricky ones. If I'm the scorekeeper, I got to say, man, I think that was an above-average effort. I'd probably score that one a hit. You know, it was hit hard enough to make a hard play for that second baseman ranging over to make that play.
He definitely was playing over there a little bit more to the right, and a lot of those foul balls going that way. And so I agree. I think having to cover as much ground as he did, he had to make a pretty extra effort to get that glove on the ball. Kept it in the infield. And Perkins catching the pitcher sleeping. He runs. But I thought pitch, and that's Schimberg over there on the hill. He stepped off the rubber and made the appropriate throw, but unable to come up with a catch in the tag, and Perkins up there safe on second with a stolen base.
Would have been a close play either way. Had that throw been successfully caught, I still think we might have had a safe call there. Hard hit, right side. First baseman takes it with a head-first slide into first. Above average effort there. Gotta love that.
So that will do it for MacNSeitz in top of the fifth, but not before we put two more on the board and now enjoy a two-run lead.
We can see the Prosepcts over there having a quick little team meeting here. They need to regroup, they need to reset, and they need a different approach here if they're going to stay competitive in this game. So you got to imagine they're going to come out attacking here. The question is the coach telling them, hey, be patient. This guy's gone 5 innings. He might be starting to fall off his game a little bit. Or is he over there telling him, hey, attack those pitches in the zone early in the count because we're not getting much later on. So all of these are valid approaches right now, but he knows his team, and I imagine we're going to see a slightly different style of play out of these guys either way. I'm just not sure what that's going to look like.
Well, I tell you what, Kilman, with 3 hit by pitches, would kind of lead you to believe that maybe he struggled with control a bit, but on 50 pitches, he's had 34 of them that are strikes.
It's an exceptional percentage there.
Yeah, and so he's finding that zone often. And as long as he continues to control that, I think that he's going to have some success. Colorado Prosepcts probably scratching their heads just a little bit as they put the ball in play fairly often, but defense behind him has held up.
Yeah, but you're saying he's at 50-something pitches going into this inning. That is a fantastic. He's a dozen pitches, 13 pitches an inning on average. That's fantastic.
Well, and that's college level play right there, and you want to be 15 or less for every inning to take you into 6 or 7, and before they're looking to bring in a reliever. And so Kilman doing a great job once again. Line drive, center field, but Perkins right there for it, playing just a bit shallow.
If you saw AK, I don't know if any of you caught that on the camera, AK is sort of taking the field general's role in this particular game. He's positioning the infield a little bit, and I saw him tweaking Perkins's position in the outfield right before that at bat, and it ended up going right to him. So I love AK taking the field general role in this particular game right now.
Well, this is number 27, Brady Houston, batting second in the order. This is going down the right side.
We got two guys coming together.
Oh, man. Valdez falling down to the ground on his approach as that ball neared the fence line over there in foul territory.
I love the effort. Don't love the head first slide heading towards the fence.
No.
It's hard not to be a dad at the same time as being a baseball fan because the effort is exceptional, but I can't help but have that moment of your face is getting real close to that middle.
Well, and we have Kilman. He's working from the windup.
Comes across for a strike. Count is now two strikes in this at-bat. So 2 pitches, 2 strikes, 1 out. Fantastic effort by AK right now.
Ball in play. This one right center.
Looks like it's dropping down. Gets by our center fielder there. And it will be a stand-up double.
So good job for Sutcliffe over there. Or no, that's Harvath, my apologies. Backing up what was a really great effort by Perkins and getting the ball back in quickly.
Yeah, that is the definition of a gap hit right there. That is in that no man's land Venn diagram of coverage area between those two field positions.
I love it. You don't hear about the Venn diagram near enough. High towering fly ball, and that's handled by number 27, Tucker Lee.
That's right. I'll be like the Dennis Miller of the baseball broadcast here for us. I'll just obscure and obtuse references to 8th grade math.
I wonder what the over-under is on the amount of viewers who understand what a Venn diagram is.
I don't know. I think we got a lot of people that are, swimming in corporate pools out there. And if you've seen a slide deck, you've seen a Venn diagram at this point.
No doubt. And it looks like Coach Sawyer is having to make a pitching change right now. So Kilman done such a great job. And I thought he had called Tucker Lee in for a pitching replacement. But he's in talking with his infield right now. So I think he was motioning for guys to come in, but he meant his infield.
So this has got to be that announcement. Hey, I like you in this spot. I want to see you keep working here, and you got to know here's where your pitch count is sitting. How long do you got? What do I need to be thinking? So I think it's a little bit of a check and see, right?
No doubt, and I think it's maybe easy to forget, but Kilman did come in relief, and I think he pitched one inning here earlier in the week. So I don't know exactly where he's at on the tournament limitations and things like that. That might have been a communication where, hey, this is your last batter.
Ball gets by Satterwhite, bounces up into the backstop, and that runner will be standing up on third after that ball.
So a double and then a pass ball. Now the Prosepcts with a runner over there on third. MacNSeitz still enjoying a 2-run lead, and Schimberg at the plate.
We got a big right-hander in Schimberg here. He's currently pitching for the Prosepcts, so you've got a sense for what his height looks like. But he's taking up a big chunk of the space in that box right now.
He definitely is, and he's put that bat on the ball in a good way a couple of times, but he's not made it on base every time. And so Kilman's got to be thinking, I've got a good shot here, as good as any. And he's challenging him right now because he's throwing that over the plate.
Called strike over the inside part of the plate and an absolutely perfect pitch.
It really was, and I my goodness, I think that ball may have missed his front left elbow by about an inch as it curved back over across the plate. Hard hit ball, this one, center field. Perkins comes up with a fantastic catch.
Catching that ball on the run, the hat goes flying off, glove up, textbook outfield catch. He's able to get there. Oh, look at that celebration in the outfield there. We got some highest of high fives jumping up there.
Oh, my. And a late horn, but my goodness, Perkins covering some range right there. You figured Schimberg was going to be good for at least 2 on that one if that ball had got past him. But on the full sprint, reaches out and right there in the glove.
Yeah, that gave me some Jackie Bradley Jr. vibes. I mean, I'm a diehard Red Sox fan, and that man could cover the outfield like it was nobody's business. And right there, man, that was an exceptional effort to make sure that ball did not touch grass out there.
Well, and I think that's a big reason why Jackie Bradley Jr. is actually in the MLB. It's not really for his bat at this point, but he has now become a little bit of a journeyman. Played for the Royals, actually, shortly. And then I think more recently went over to, it may have been Pittsburgh. I can't recall who, but
I think he's on the edge of retirement in that way. In his mind, he still wants to play more, but his bat's just not there anymore. So that outfield defense, though, there was nothing like it, man. If you've ever watched those clips, I mean, if you haven't and you Google Jackie Bradley Jr. catch, you're going to get a highlight reel of a dude that looks like Spider-Man, climbing the walls in any ballpark he's in, literally running up the outfield wall to make a catch and save a run. Some of the best outfield plays I'd ever seen, that specifically in the 2018 series with the Red Sox.
Oh, wrong button. My apologies, folks. I was going to make a quick adjustment to our back stop camera.
All right, well, let's see here. I'll hold down this for a minute while Robert goes and makes that adjustment. So this is Anthony Sutcliffe getting ready to step into the box. We got the same pitcher for the Prosepcts on the bump out there. And looking to get things underway in the top part of the 6th here. Scores 3-5. And ump has signaled that the pitch can proceed. Foul tip for Strike one. Anthony walking across the plate on that one and almost getting drilled in the back of the head on the throw back from the catcher. Outside. 1-1.
I didn't catch that velocity on that one, did you?
I did not.
A good little pop in the glove.
Down into the ground. So I'm not seeing it on the iPad screen. I can see it on the back of the pocket radar over there, but I can't see it being displayed on the iPad.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we'll get a little restart going here for our pitch velocity. You guys will see that in just below the score banner and the pocket radar icon. We'll see if we can't get a little something going there.
So Sutcliffe's counts 3-1 at the moment here. Up and in, that should be ball 4, and it is.
So Sutcliffe earns a free one right there, and that'll bring us back to the top of the order for MacNSeitz. That's going to be number 27, Tucker Lee.
So our booth gives me a great spot to shoot lefties. Not as good for righties because we got a lot of bodies between me and the hitter in this location. But right here, I can run the camera and run the broadcast at the same time.
That one right down the pipe coming in just at 69 miles an hour, so not that big velocity. But it looks like he's got some pretty good off speed.
Slow rolling us on the verbal call there, though.
A little bit. Hard hit ball, center field. He's going back, and he handles that for out number 1. So middle, he puts it in play, but just a touch underneath it. Elevates that ball, and center fielder handles that one easily. That'll be number 1, Cooper Harvoth at the plate.
Man, this court is an exceptional length. I'm able to stay in the shade and film. Man, I knew I liked you, Robert, but this is I'm having a newfound respect for the tent.
So barely, and pitch looking for a new ball right there. And Harvoth never leaving the box. He's ready to go, folks.
Cloud cover rolling in. I'm actively changing my exposure here, so it's the day is changing pretty quick with these clouds here. The breeze is fantastic right now.
Yeah, it's degrees cooler when that sun slips in behind those clouds.
Popped up.
Left side. Looks like the shortstop will handle it.
And does.
So now MacNSeitz having to work with 2 outs. That's going to bring up Boston Townsend.
So for 3 right now, and not too happy about it. And in between, he wanted to take a look at some of the footage to understand what he's doing wrong, trying to make some in-game corrections. That's where we talk about the mental game of baseball here, not knowing whether it's a mental error he's making or a physical one, and trying to figure out how to get back in that headspace that'll allow him to drive the ball. Takes that pitch, and it's a ball on the inside.
That one definitely tailed kind of there at the end, well inside. Modest lead over there at first, but Schemberg on the bump, still checking the runner. And Catch doing a great job keeping that ball, which was down in the turf, right off the chest plate.
Yeah, that one bounced about 1.5 feet in front of home plate.
So interesting, we've got quite a few more people in attendance here today than a little bit earlier in the week. Nice hit.
Fair ball.
Right down that third base line. Runners are going. Left fielder having trouble getting to it. Coach holds him.
There we go. That'll get him out of his slump, I hope, with a little double there down the third base line.
Fantastic piece of hitting right there. And, wow, Sutcliffe was turning third base hard, and Coach had both hands up yelling, stop, stop, stop. And he had to quickly get back to third. But Townsend with a double.
All right, that gives us 2 runners in scoring position here in this spot and 2 away. So we're still sitting with a 2-run lead, but we would love to add here in this situation. Trying to be as unbiased as possible, but let's be real. We are the home team commentators here. Well, not the home team. We're the away team in this particular game. But this is the YouTube channel for the MacNSeitz team. So if it sounds a little imbalanced at times, that's the reason.
No doubt. And so now Ryder Votaw at the plate. Schimberg taking a small pause right there. Stepping back on the rubber. Runners take their lead. And Votaw taking that one for a strike. That'll even up the count now, 1-1.
This isn't even my setup, Robert, but I got to say it was so fun to hear the other team yesterday, the Bulls, being so appreciative of you having this thing up and running because they had fans that couldn't be at the game. They had traveled here for the tournament and they had people back home watching on the YouTube channel.
Votaw puts this one in play. Shortstop will handle it. It's going to be close. Oh, and Votaw trips over the first base. The call is out as the throw came in just before first base, and Votaw holding his shoulder.
Oh, that is one of those spots that looks the amount of pain that's going on right now is looking a little bit like a collarbone or a shoulder. Hopefully there's no dislocation there, but that is it's a little bit more than just a bump or a bruise, I'm going to say, off the rip there. You can see the foot kicking over there. That's an above-average amount of pain. I feel bad for him right now.
Well, play will, of course, pause here momentarily as the coaching staff checks in on Ryder Votaw. A tough young man who I've actually seen injured at least once more here about 2 years ago. Sustained a little bit of a knee injury on a twist. He, just absolutely flies out of the box.
Yeah. Does
his absolute best to kind of run through that bag, and I think that foot just planted on the bag a little strange, and then he just absolutely went tumbling down. So he has not gotten back up since then, but I think he
put his arm out to catch himself there. I happened to be in a pretty good position to see there, and I actually think he was safe, by the way, objectively. But and then he put his arm out to catch him, and I think that's where that pain is coming from right now, and I think that's where the injury is.
Well, he looks like he's being a little bit more calm, but he's still kind of working that leg and feeling some pain.
With that kind of injury and the potential for something like a collarbone or like a shoulder, they're going to want to immobilize that a little bit before they ask him to get up. They're going to try to give him a little bit of comfort, I would imagine. I don't know if there's a trainer around, but this is, like I said, this is what Boston's studying, so I've heard a little bit more about some of this stuff. And he's been on the field doing it for football teams in the past.
Well, you'll see our MacNSeitz position players out there taking their position in preparation to resume play, but the coaching staff still over there attending to Ryder Votaw. Well, Prosepcts and MacNSeitz have had a good one going here today. It takes us to the bottom of the sixth. Score still 5-3 in favor of MacNSeitz. Alex Kilman still coming back out there on the hill. I thought maybe he was getting up close to his limitation for the tournament, but I think maybe Kevin had surmised that it was really just about trying to talk to the pitcher about where he's at, how he's feeling, and that would appear to be the case as Kilman comes back out to start for the sixth inning. So warm-ups all complete. The Prosepcts are ready to go. And yet there are still people attending to Votaw down there on that third base line.
There's no medical here. No.
And
They're on their own.
I tell you what.
Looks like Heather Vaughn's out there, though. Heather is a nurse and is working in healthcare. So to have somebody that has some knowledge out there is nice.
Well, I tell you what, Vota has done such a great job for us over there at shortstop here earlier in the season as Coach was still trying to learn all the different players and everything like that. Vota played a fair amount of outfield for his high school out there in Lee Summit, Missouri. And I want to say it's Lee Summit North. I'd have to go back and take a look to be sure on that.
I know we got a lot of players in Blue Valley and in both of the Lee Summits or two of the Lee Summits over there. And my guy in North. So yeah, I think you're gambling in the right general area there.
Well, I know he's on a Lee Summit team. I just can't recall which one. Both him and Harrison Perkins going to the same school, and I think possibly Parker Simons as well. He is up and he is getting walked off the field. He's really holding that shoulder as still as possible, keeping that hand close to the body.
Yes. So and he's being real tentative, which means that we're talking about little movements or a lot of pain right now. Boston was guessing, and again, total guess. He didn't see it as well, but he thought maybe it might be more ligament kind of an injury versus a bone kind of an injury based on the way the fall went down. But, I mean, this is a 15-year-old making a guess about his 15-year-old teammate, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, you bet. And, well, I tell you what, obviously a round of applause coming from the fans of both sides as Votal makes his way off the field. Again, kind of a big loss for MacNSeitz as he's done so well for us out there at short. And so some defensive substitutions to make room for that void over there at short. So Parker Simons will move from third over to short. Lee will come in to work third, and then McCowan will come into the game to work left.
Josh, did you get that? Cooper's, you got it. Okay.
All right. Prospects step into the box, and Kilman working from the windup.
Fouled straight back there.
So that is number 17, Chase Weber, batting in the 5-hole as far as the order goes, but leading off this inning.
No one misses the outside part of the plate, low and away.
Saw Kilman kind of wince there, and I don't know if that was a wince just on the pitch location or whatnot, but
I see him checking his elbow there. So trying to get that grip back. You can see him signaling he needs a second to try to get a little bit of better grip on the ball.
Well, and a long wait in between his last pitch and then this first pitch in this inning. And so MacNSeitz doing a decent job out there on the offensive side of the ball. Not able to get anybody around, but kind of a longer inning. And then, of course, we had the play stoppage there for Votaw. But
counts 2-1. That ball looked to be a strike, but did not get the call. Makes it 3-1. I'm guessing missed a little below the zone, I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely a good spot, and a spot that, Kilman is definitely wanting to go after quite a bit.
Catches a little bit more of the plate on the right side of that plate. Foul ball down the right side.
Valdez comes up with it. And so as he made his way back to the ball, I thought that ball was going to get out of play, but stayed in just enough for Valdez to bring that in for out number one.
Yeah, that wind is a mystery. And then you got the heat coming off the field, too. The little convection cycle, a little updraft happening off the field, too.
No doubt about it. And this is number 10, Hayden Silva.
Ripped into the gap there. That's going to be extra bases all day here. And
McCowan up there collects the ball, throws it in.
Looked like he had his turbo boosters on and hoping for third, but despite a little bobble, runner ends up at second, standing up.
And Simon's making a little bit of a heroic throw right there. Maybe not necessary, but it doesn't create a situation where the runner's able to advance any further. But a well-struck ball, and he comes up with a double.
Yeah, you could see him picking up his stride coming around first there. He was lengthening his stride and really picking up steam. He wanted that triple there.
He really did, but being on that left side of the field, it makes it quite a bit tougher. McCowan did a good job of using his speed to get back to the ball and did hit his cutoff.
You really got to tuck it deep in that corner and then hope for an error if you want to triple over there. I mean, at this age anyway. 2 years ago, maybe different story.
Hard hit ball. This one over to third. Lee looks him back and makes the throw for out number 2.
Yes, sir.
So good job looking that runner back after receiving that hard hit ball. Still like to see him square up on that ball a little more, but it was hit hard and quick, and so he did a good job getting the glove on it. That will be number 9, Jack Longmire. Or was that Longmire at the last? Yes, my apologies. That is number 21, Jackson Trail, now at the plate.
I believe that's a school in our district, Jackson Trail.
It might be. And probably all across the nation. Oh, that ball getting by, and runner will advance over to third.
So Satterwhite going to block that with his chest and not just being able to move quite far laterally enough to be able to get that shoulder on that one.
Yeah, and you talk about that, how that ball kind of bounces up off of that turf. Sometimes it comes up just a little bit in a different way than we expect.
Yeah.
Ball in play right over to short.
Oh, off the heel of the glove and into the fringe of the outfield, the run comes across.
So run will score, and Trail is able to reach base on air.
So we are in a 2-out situation here. It's a 1-run game. The tying run is standing on first. Go ahead run at the plate.
That'll be number 40, Ryan Jenkins at the plate. Oh, number 1 came in for 40.
Fouled straight back.
And camera went just a bit askew, so we'll switch our view over here for you. Good luck reaching that.
I don't even get up anymore. The difference in height between the two of us means that all I can do is twist.
Ball right up the middle. That's going to get through the infield. And back-to-back singles for the Prosepcts.
So right now, we got to eliminate any chance of a double here, no matter what, whether on error or whether a natural. We gotta try to keep that limited to a single hit here, or collect our out.
And so this will be number 7, Cody Contreras at the plate. Ooh. That one getting away from Kilman just a bit. Starting off with a 1-0 count.
I always shake my head when people say wear it on a pitch like that.
Right at your head? No, no thank you, sir.
Hey, a bruise is one thing. A concussion, light him up, Reed. And the ball gets away far enough for the runners to advance. Second and third, 2 runners in scoring position now. Reed does make the throw, but not in time.
So a tough spot to be sure. Those errors now, that error just now adding up a little bit. MacNSeitz looking to get out of this situation. And Kilman losing a little control here.
Yeah. See, he's starting to miss up pretty consistently here, so.
So modest leads for the Prosepcts. No risk taken there. And a good-looking off-speed for Kilman right across the plate for strike 1.
Right. In these situations we see so often, hey, you make a pitch that's near the plate, 3-0, and you're going to get that strike call 90% of the time, and most of the time you're getting a take.
Ball in play, this one over to second base.
Thrown across. And collect the out.
So Kilman coming up with a ground ball when he needed it most. And MacNSeitz continuing to enjoy that 1-run lead going into our last inning in top of the 7th.
Yeah, we're looking to add some runs here. We need some insurance. This is a good team. There's not an expectation that any teams we face in this kind of a tournament are going to give up or roll over for us. So we're going to have to keep fighting right up to the very end here.
Absolutely. And if we could add just a little bit of margin to that lead, we could certainly breathe just a bit easier. Looks like Schenberg will make his Schimberg does look like he's going to make his way back out and hopes to finish this game out. I'm going to take a small audio break here, folks, and we'll adjust that one camera. Appreciate you guys joining us here online. And here we are, leading off this inning is number 10, Sebastian Wingrove.
Thanks for getting my mic back on, Robert. I had a request from the guys at the top of the lineup. Those are the ones that want the video this time around. So up and a little bit away. That's a down for ball one there.
So Schimberg taking a little time in between pitches. Maybe thinking just a little bit about his mechanics, where he wants to go.
Another one misses low and away.
That one coming in 69 miles an hour. And, you know, I think that's the one thing when you see that you're playing a 15U tournament, all these guys are the same age, but everybody developing at different rates. A lot of times when you see a big guy like that and there's so many mechanics involved, that can be pretty tough.
Misses upstairs. Third ball on the third pitch. Yeah, I think it's interesting, too, because I know, like, there's a couple of different approaches, right? If he's not regularly a pitcher, he might be opting to try to take some off to be able to get it in there. If he's playing infield, he might have that high 70s, low 80s throw across the diamond.
Ooh, and that one with a great presentation for strike one. Now 3-1 count. Yeah, you know, you put 3-4 inches on a body in a given year. There are a lot of things that change about your swing, about your stride, about a whole bunch of things. As Wingrove swings away right there, now full count.
Yeah, having been on the up close and personal witness to that with our guy, who's, you know, like at the beginning of season last year, he was like 5'8" and currently sitting just under 6'2". So.
Yep, that's an immense amount of growth. And that one buzzing the tower, but it's going to be ball four, and Wingrove will have a leadoff walk.
That brings up Satterwhite. Reed with a nice hit to the left side earlier in the game.
So everyone taking their call from Coach Jake Sawyer over there on third base. Wingrove with the lead as Schimberg checks him. Now comes set. And we throw down the bunt. Satterwhite makes his way down to first. And the Prosepcts get the out. But MacNSeitz able to advance the runner.
Reed with an exceptional team at bat there, laying down the sac bunt to get that runner over. Coach Sawyer is definitely looking here for those insurance runs. You can see this is conservative, small ball play, but it's been working for us all game. Fourth bunt, fourth successfully moved runner.
Well, that's going to bring up number 35, Zane Valdez. Got to be thinking now with runner in scoring position, guys may be swinging away. And he does there, a chopper. This one's going to be over to second base. Going to be a tough one. And he is safe. I think Valdez legged out that throw, but the throw came in chopping just a bit, and the first baseman unable to come up with it. So safe either way, but, man, he was screaming out of the box.
Yes, he was. That was a little one-bounce rushed throw over to first, which could have been picked, but just wasn't, you know. I mean, it was a makeable play. And, man, that speed out of the base path puts that pressure on and forces that error a lot of the time.
And so now just one down, number 7, Harrison Perkins at the plate.
So with one out, we just need something of some depth here to get this run across.
Ball down, runner goes, but catch elects to not throw the ball. And so Valdez safe up there at second.
Yeah, he's shown time and time again he's not throwing in this situation. As a Red Sox fan, I got to watch them do that repeatedly 9 times to the Yankees in their last time they faced, setting a record and putting the Yankees on blast that they don't throw through.
Oh, man. You know, I think we talked about that here just a couple of games ago, and like giving up those free bases, it does equate to runs, and it's one of those things that I don't like to see.
Yeah, you got to have, and there are situations, where you got to have that, right? Even I'm going to say, even if you're not successfully completing the out, you want the thought that it was a close call in the mind of that runner.
Absolutely, and as you look at every roster, you're going to have guys that are pretty quick and guys that aren't as quick, and when you have that in the back of the mind and you happen to be one of those runners that's not as quick, the coach is going to be maybe a little more conservative.
Yep. Does that count correct, 3-0?
I had 2-0, but I could be behind one. Perkins calls timeout, steps out of the box, and resets.
So now I'm wondering, in this situation, if you're Jake Sawyer, are you giving the green light or are you taking the free base? Because you almost got a guaranteed strike down the middle here. Misses on 4 straight pitches, and you can see the take was all the way there.
There's no doubt. He gave no indication that he was swinging right there. That's going to bring up number 18, Parker Simons, with the bases loaded, just one down.
So another excellent chance here for MacNSeitz to be able to capitalize and see what we can do here.
So the Prosepcts coach stepping just outside the dugout, looking at Schimberg, trying to communicate a little bit.
Ball down. I was going to say in the dirt, but bounces off the turf and blocked by the catcher.
Does a nice job keeping that ball out in front. The shallow backstop really it does change the game.
So it seems clear to me that the communication was we want a ground ball here from the Prosepcts coach. They want to turn 2. So you're seeing low and away as the call on the pitch. Got him chasing.
Swing and miss, but the ball gets away from catch. And MacNSeitz will add another run.
There we go. Seabass comes across upright.
So all runners advance, and now a 6-4 game.
So in that case, it's one of those things. The swing actually helps a lot there in that situation, right? Low and away, if you're straight taken, the catch has got a little different kind of a situation to be able to read that ball. That swing actually might have helped us a little bit.
Good looking pitch right there. Yeah. Off speed, and Simons was not going after that one.
And right on the inside part of the plate there. Quality pitch in a tough situation there for the pitcher, though, so hand it to him there.
Well, the corners are playing in, and as a matter of fact, even the middle infielders are.
Another one gets by the catcher. No go on the runners, though. That short backstop this time. When it goes straight back, it's coming right back to that catcher. They're maybe only 15 feet a maximum from the front of the batter's box to the backstop here. So, quick.
100%. And Valdez was ready. He took the first couple of steps, and Coach Sawyer put the brakes on.
Free swing in there.
And Simons goes down swinging right there, but that's going to now bring up number 31, Anthony Sutcliffe.
Top of the order waiting in the wings, should they be required. We got 2 runners on here, 2 outs. Up by 2 in the 7th inning.
I tell you what, they were telling, the forecast was that the heat was going to be a little bit hotter today. And I don't know if it's just the breeze but it doesn't feel quite to me as hot as it was yesterday.
Yeah, I think that cloud cover is doing us so many favors. Arriving to the field, the temperature was the same as it was leaving the field yesterday. So I was a little nervous, but the clouds are definitely blissful. And, man, that breeze is so nice today.
And Sutcliffe now in the box.
2 pitches, 2 balls for Anthony.
Taking that one well outside and just wanting something to hit, I think.
Yeah, I got to imagine we're not going to see much to hit for the whole rest of this game. However long that game lasts, we're going to be seeing everything on the margins, and then maybe 1 or 2 coming inside to catch a sleep in for a strike here or there. But he's trying to avoid the heart of the plate.
And that one hits Sutcliffe right in the leg as he owns his place in the position in the box. That'll load the bases, and that brings up now, top of the order, number 27, Tucker Lee.
Once again, you see the Prosepcts coach making his way to the bump out there to try to figure out what they can do in this situation. And this is a tough mental situation for a ball player, especially if you're a ball player on a good team. Maybe you haven't had to deal with this a whole lot so far this season. You've been doing really good, playing really well, and now this pitcher finds himself in a tough spot. He's coming off and going to a new arm, it looks like.
What's that? So it does look like they will make a pitching change right here. And, you know, I think at this point a lot of people may look at the game in a different way, but this is still just a 2-run game. And the Prosepcts have that advantage having that last at-bat. And so they make that pitching change. It looks like Schemberg will go over to first. And incoming to pitch, I think, is Jackson Trail. Is that number 21?
It is number 21.
All right.
Yeah, I think you said it earlier. They've scored quite a few runs so far in this tournament, so they are a team capable of run production. We've been doing a good job of limiting them so far, but I got to imagine that AK is not going to be returning for this last inning of play. They're going to have a totally different pitcher to be able to look at, and they probably like their chances against any team in this situation.
Absolutely, and so doing everything they can to try to shut down the offensive assault here by MacNSeitz makes all the sense in the world. And so definitely we saw Kilman looking to lose a little bit of that very characteristic control that he typically has and starting to look just a bit tired. It will be interesting to see if he comes back out. I kind of agree with you. I think maybe they're going to be bringing in a fresh arm. But reviewing the situation that will be coming up, we've got Perkins that's out there on third base. Coming up to bat is Tucker Lee. And we've got 2 down. So Jackson Trail working through his warm-ups entirely from the stretch, because that's how he will come into the game, working from the stride.
Yep, runners are signaled to go back, so that'll put all our guys back on the bases there. So bases loaded, 2 away here in the 7th.
Oh, yeah, Perkins is actually on second. He was just over talking with the coaches over there on third base. So Valdez over there at third, Perkins on second, and Simon's on first.
Down, guys. Everybody running.
First pitch strike.
So strike call, catching the inside part of the plate.
Sorry, Tuck. It wasn't there.
And looking to hit that same spot. Just misses. Now 1-1. So I know we talk about this quite a bit, but you bring that inner half of the plate, you got to turn on it, right?
Yep. Quick hands. Get the bat down to that ball quick. And the misnomer a lot of the times is that you're ducking the bat under, but a lot of it's happening in the hips and the upper body angle that you need to be able to attack that low part of the zone. You don't want to destroy that rotational energy. You just want to lower it to get on playing with the pitch.
And that one trailing away from Jackson Trail.
Puns abound.
And beautiful timing. Had to tee that one up. Now 3-1 count. Lee showing bunt. pulling it back, and he gets strike 2. So an interesting call for him to square away. I think looking for that walk, but man, on a 3-1 pitch, I'm looking to try to drive that ball.
Yeah. Probably feeling like that first call might have been marginal. That this guy doesn't maybe have the command of the zone that he needs.
And Lee goes down swinging with the bases loaded. So definitely some frustration by 27 as he goes back to the dugout. And we'll see what happens here in this next half inning. Once again, folks, we appreciate you coming out and joining us online if you were not able to come out to the ball field. And if you come back and you're watching the video back afterwards, make sure to drop a like or leave a comment. Looks like Kilman will be the pitcher of record coming back out there on the hill when we come back.
All right.
Bottom of the 7th. That was a little take me out to the ball game.
Well, the organist is making up for his late arrival this morning.
Well, MacNSeitz sticks with Alex Kilman, and you know what? He's pitched a gem of a game so far.
Boston picking that one up off the bottom of the zone there.
And now an 0-1 count.
So we do have a defensive change out there. You can see that Reed's not behind the plate anymore right now. Boston is doing the catching. I think Reed got a little toasty back there. That's my guess. I didn't see anything else going on there, so I got to imagine he got a little overheated. Counts 1-1. Foul tip to the mitt for strike 2.
Right here, 4.
This one in play, right over to short. Simons handles that easily for out number 1.
Gathered, thrown. Man, I love Boston running down the first baseline, and Zane does the flip to a barehanded catch for a little flash leather around there. You don't often see the catcher getting in on the around the infield throwing there.
Well, on our backstop camera, catching a foul ball there at one point. So we'll have to make the rest of the way with our other views.
Gets the outside call. I'll see what I can do here. You can hold down the broadcast. I'll see if I can make something happen there. I'm not quite as tall, but I'll do what I can.
All right, well, Kilman now up 0-1. Pop up, this one, center field. Perkins looks like he has it. And he collects that for out number 2. And so 4 or 5 pitches in, and MacNSeitz now with 2 outs. Oh, you got the line out of the middle of it for sure. Ball in play, this one right up the middle. That was number 20, Caden Van Dam. And so the tying run coming up to the plate.
Sorry about that. I sacrificed a little bit of angle, I guess, to get the net out of the way, but
no worries at all.
okay. Yep.
And so park personnel a little frustrated with us and our setup here. Little blooper, that's going to get down on the right side. That could be extra bases. Cooper Harvoth coming up, throwing. So Schimberg coming up with a good one there for the Prosepcts. That's a single, and we'll put runners on the corners. MacNSeitz with 2 down. And still a 2-run lead. And it looks like Coach Jake Sawyer is calling a timeout and coming up to the hill. So everyone's looking to Lee right now.
Wondering if this is his moment to come in relief, or if they're just trying to regroup and say, hey.
Well, I tell you what, Alex Kilman coming up with 2 quick outs right there to start. And, Schimberg doing a nice piece of hitting right there, going oppo. And I thought Cooper Harvoth did a great job getting to the ball and then getting it in, prevented Schimberg from making his way over to second. And Sawyer sticking with Kilman, and I see really no reason not to.
Yeah. I think what you saw at the beginning, too, I know Boston likes a quicker tempo of game when he's catching, so you saw a little uptick in the tempo there, and they were able to capitalize on those 2 quick outs. And now that the guys on the opposing team got the rhythm, we're starting to see them pound it a little bit again.
This is a pop-up. Perkins goes back, and it's over his head. He falls head over heels, scoops up the ball, and 2 runs will score. And a 2 RBI triple for number 5, Chase Weber.
So we got to look like a pause and play out there for Harrison to collect himself.
I tell you what, he made such a phenomenal play earlier in the game. I thought we were getting ready to rinse and repeat right there. That one at a much different angle. He's trailing back and doing everything he can to get to the ball. He stretches out and kind of tumbles after the dive. Those things, if you've ever done those in the outfield, man, they can really tear you up pretty good.
So that triple puts a lot of pressure on this pitch. You got 2 outs, you got a runner on third and a tie ball game right here. The winning run.
And Cooper Harvoth and the Prosepcts with a walk-off single. So the Prosepcts doing what needed to be done in the last inning. And MacNSeitz got to be disappointed with the outcome. But wow, what a great ball game to watch.
Yeah, that was another exceptionally played ball game. Man.
Kind of sitting here speechless, right? And, hats off to the Prosepcts. We're going to wish them good luck in the rest of their way here in the Super 15. I think MacNSeitz will be back in action tomorrow at some point. So we'll see as these brackets are solidified here come toward the end of the day as the boys meet there at midfield, congratulating each other on a good effort. Wow, what a game, what a finish.
Maybe the toughest loss so far, honestly.
It really, really has been. And so that's two fantastic games back-to-back, one against the Missouri Bulls and then the Colorado Prosepcts right here. Alex Keldman pitched just a gem of a game. The defense behind him, good on almost all accounts. And you know what? We've got some run production today, so that was good to see.
And solid defense all the way around. So, hey, we got to call a really exciting game that was played well by both teams the entire time through and just came up on the wrong end of that straw draw this time around. And the baseball gods have got to smile on us at some point. So,
absolutely. Well, that will do it for us today here out at Creekside. I am Robert Lee for Kevin Townsend on the MacNSeitz YouTube 15U channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us here.
Yep, thanks so much.